So here we have our mechanical batch of components of the parts that we're looking at. These are divided primarily into two batches. Over here, we have the 3D printed parts that are going to comprise our radiation shield. And over here, we have our parts that are going to comprise our box assembly and mounting plate. The individual components, we have our solid leaf of our radiation shield. We have a pair of open leaves. These are all 3D printed out of ABS plastic. And we have our bottom mounting connector. And then we have our top plate as well to cover everything over. For the box assembly, we have the box itself, which has been drilled out appropriately. And we have the lid to the box as well. And then we have another 3D printed part, which is the mounting plate, which will hold all the electronics within the box. So here we have an overview of the parts, which are our sensors and cables, anything with a long cable connection. So over here we have our tipping bucket rain gauge. Here we have our solar panel connector. This will allow us to more easily connect the solar panel into the box. Here we have our soil moisture sensor. Here we have a pair of 3-meter cables for connecting the sensors to the main unit. Over here we have two each of a black, red, green, and white crimp connector. And then we have a pair of 4 crimp housings. These will be used for making internal connections within the box. We have a 1-inch pair of black and yellow connections for making power connections within the box. And we have a pair of 3-inch red and black wire connectors for that same purpose. And finally, we have our soil temperature sensor as well. So here we have an overview of the printed circuit boards and other of the low-level components that are going to be used in this assembly. So here we have all of the low-level boards that will be used, and here we have some of the other components that will be used. So here we have our primary data logger. That will be the system that actually collects and records data from the system. Here we have our battery holder and protection circuitry that's going to act to power the main data logger. And here we have the battery charge controller and solar charger. So this will act to allow the batteries to be charged by the solar panel. And then here we have an adapter board for our soil moisture and soil temperature sensor. Here we have our barometric pressure and relative humidity sensor. And here we have our hot wire anemometer, which is also a wind speed sensor. Over here, we just have an SD card for local data storage, a micro SD card. And here we have our batteries, which are NCR 18650 form factor lithium ion batteries. So in addition to the other parts that we've laid out, we will also be providing a solar panel for providing external remote power to the system, and a boron LTE or boron 2G, 3G, depending on the region of interest. And then this will be the primary telemetry unit for the system. There will be additional documentation on this through Particle itself. So here we have an overview of the tools which will be used in this assembly and come included in the kit. Over here we have our precision slotted screwdriver. This is 1.8 millimeter slotted screwdriver. Here we have our smaller Phillips screwdriver. This is a PH1 Phillips. Here we have our larger Phillips screwdriver. This is a PH2 Phillips. And finally, here we have our wrench, which will be used for attaching the cable glands to the box.